Hi, this is Chris from the Project Management Guide. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the project sponsor and why they're important to your project. In this video, I'm going to talk about the project sponsor, who they typically are, what they do on the project, and then in a moment, I'm going to talk about why they really matter to the success of your project. So who is the project sponsor? The term project sponsor is normally used for internal projects. So that's projects that are run from within your own organisation or your own business. And typically they can be seen as the main customer for the project. Often they're a business person or an operational person, and they're normally the person that's found the funding for the project. So they've gone and negotiated the budget to get the project completed. So they're normally the main person also benefiting from the project as well. So what does the sponsor do? So they're the counterpart to the project manager. So the project manager is effectively accountable to the sponsor for delivering the project successfully. So the sponsor is the business or the operational owner of the project. And so they own the business case, i.e. the reasons why we're doing the project. And they help drive the project from the business side. And they make operational people available to help out on the project, to help it run more smoothly and ensure its success. The sponsor is also there for oversight. So they're really there to help out and to ensure that the benefits are realised and they're being delivered as the project progresses. And they're also there to make sure that the costs and the timescales are kept under control and that the project manager is running the project successfully or properly. And finally, they're a key decision maker in the project as well. So the sponsor is a key decision maker in your project. And whilst you're going to be making a lot of decisions in the project as the project manager, and the sponsors, they're generally busy business people and they've got a lot of work to do anyway, so in terms of running their business. So you only really want to escalate up the bigger decisions and really important decisions to the sponsor to make those decisions. So they're there really for any change, decisions on change, for example, things like requirements or significant requirements or deliverable changes, or where the costs have increased significantly, or where the project benefits aren't going to be realised now, or there's some sort of change to timescales that's going to have an impact on the project, or anything else that really impacts the business. The sponsor needs to understand and accept those changes, or they might not accept them, or they need to be worked through basically. So that's part of the decision-making process for change. They also need to understand the risk and accept any risks. Certainly when we start the project, they need to accept the risks before we start. And obviously you're going to get risks that come up during the project as well. So they need to be across those risks. And also when we transition into any live scenario, the sponsor needs to be across all of those risks and understand what they are and accept those risks in the process of go live. And then finally, they have a role in the decision making to sign off deliverables or accept deliverables, and they have to accept the completion of different project phases as well. So what happens if you don't have an active sponsor on your project? And the key word really here is active. Now you might well have a sponsor on your project, but if they're not putting the time in to the project and spending the time they need to, then you're gonna have challenges. So there's a big gap if you haven't really got an active sponsor on your project. You haven't got a counterpart then for the project manager to work against. You've got no ownership of the business side. You've got no drive from the business to make the project a success. You've got weak accountability as well. So the project manager isn't being held to account for making sure the project is run properly in terms of the benefits realisation, the costs and the timescales on the project as well. And you end up with some slow or bad decision making, and the business operations are not available on the project to help out with the project. So overall, you're going to have some problems with your project. You're going to have slow progress. You're going to have a troublesome project, and it's not going to run as smoothly as it should do. The project should be a joint effort between the project delivery team and the business operation team. And the sponsor is a key instigator of that, a key catalyst really for making that happen. So you need to keep the project sponsor involved in the project. You need to meet them regularly one-to-one if you can, but on the other hand, you need to make sure that you keep them a little bit at arm's length, because you don't want to have them involved in every single little micro decision on the project. So it is sometimes a little bit difficult to keep the project sponsor a little bit at arm's length and let you get on and run the project as the project manager and let them make the decisions that they need to as the project sponsor. So they're going to need a little bit of management around that. So they do need to attend a regular project board. If you don't know what a project board is, I'm going to cover that in one of the later videos, but they need to attend that. Typically that's going to be a monthly meeting. And also if they're not able to make some decisions themselves, then they need to delegate that or get somebody else to delegate that decision or make that decision on their behalf. And they also need to receive the weekly project status reports that you are provided on a regular basis as well. So it's really important to keep the sponsor involved in the project to keep the project successful, essentially. So in summary then, the sponsor can be seen as the main customer for the project. So they're seen as the counterpart really to the project manager and making sure that the project manager is running the project properly in terms of timescale and costs and benefits realisation, etc. So the sponsor owns the business operation side of the project to make sure that everything is ready and working properly on the project from the business side. They're also a key decision maker, helping the project manager make key decisions. And they really need to be active on the project as well. So it's no good having a project sponsor that's not around or that isn't involved in the project on a regular basis. And they're an important catalyst for successful projects and to ensure that the project is delivered as a joint effort between the project delivery team and the business team. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd really like to hear your comments on how you find working with sponsors, some challenges you've had. So drop me some comments in the section below. I'd love to hear about how you're getting on managing or working with your sponsors. Also subscribe, please subscribe. And finally, if you want to find any more information, have a look at theprojectmanagementguide.com. So the next video is about project stakeholders and how you need to engage with them on your project.